Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is LUNAROSE because I am the flower that blooms at night. And for today's very special Halloween transformation, we are transforming into a full-on drag version of Barbie. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so let's become a Barbie bombshell, shall we? So I'm going to start off by doing my eyes first. I did use some eyebrow stickers for my brows today, just to kind of change it up and give me a slightly different brow shape, and then I will shave and do my base makeup afterwards. So to start off the eye look, I just based out my eyelid using a little bit of concealer and then set that down with some powder. To highlight my brow bone, I took Taco from Sugar Pill, which is a matte white eyeshadow. My holy grail for like 10 years of doing drag. I love the eyeshadow. And then for eyeshadow today, I'm going to take the P. Louise pink eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to start with the like neon pink, deepen it with a slightly darker pink, and then go in with that more like raspberry toned pink to kind of give me the depth. So by starting off with that brighter like neon pink in the palette to use it as my transition colour, I started by packing that colour into the inner furrow of my brow and winging it back towards my temples in a kind of elongated cat eye kind of shape. And then I took the slightly deeper shade of pink and repeated those same steps, going from the outer edge of my eye, winging it back towards my temples, and from the inner furrow of my brow, blending that deeper pink slightly lower down than that first pink shade that I went in with. And then once I was happy with how those two were blended, I took the deeper shade in that pink palette to kind of pat onto the outer edge of my eye, and I did also apply a little bit of this to the inner furrow of the brow, blending all three of those colours together until I kind of built up the shape and the depth and dimension that I wanted. And I basically just went back and forth with those colours, taking a bigger brush to make sure it was all like nice and blended together. All those three colours looked seamless, but also had their own kind of moment to shine to build up the depth how I wanted it to look. I also did wing it quite heavily back on the outer edge of my eye, just so it kind of gave a little bit of lift. And then I went in and carved out an exaggerated cut crease using the P. Louise white makeup base. I do this much larger than my actual eyelid, just so my eyes appear much larger when I'm in drag, and it kind of just helps since I have hooded eyes, and if I just did it on my actual eyelid, you wouldn't even see like the white shade when I was like looking forward. So I do like quite an exaggerated cut crease and then set that down with that same Taco eyeshadow from Sugar Pill, the matte white, and then I took that deeper shade of pink just over the edges and kind of outer edge of my eye just to kind of blend it all nicely together. For eyeliner, I took the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner, and I went for a soft wing today. Usually I cover like my entire eyelid in liquid eyeliner, but this time I just did a little itty bitty baby wing on the outer edge of my eye and basically just lined my upper lash line just so it would hide the lash band when I go in with false lashes at the end. But yeah, just a simple little wing. And then I'm going to go in and shave my face off camera, and then we can do the base makeup and maybe add some more to the eyes afterwards. So I am just wearing like a nude bodysuit since I figured I would do my body makeup as well on camera. So I started by taking a little bit of the E45 moisturizing cream just because I've been filming a lot this month. My skin is very dry and annoyed at me for doing so much drag so often. So pretty much I just blended that all over my skin just so my skin was nice and hydrated and the foundation would lay like a lot nicer on top of nicely moisturized skin. I then went in and color corrected my beard area using the Barry M color correcting concealer shade, patted that out with a foundation brush, set that down with a little bit of powder just so it didn't like bleed through into my foundation. And then for my foundation, I'm also going to apply some to my body just so it matches my face makeup, and I'm going to use the Be Perfect foundation in shade N4. This is like a new find to me, and I've really been enjoying just how it sits on my skin and lasts. And I did mix that on my body with a little bit of the golden molten luminizer from Makeup Revolution, and it's kind of just easier to use your hands and just mix those products together haphazardly all over my body just so my face will match it. It gives me like a nice tanned glowy complexion, and I didn't actually like fake tan today. I was planning to, but I had so many things to edit that I forgot to apply fake tan, so I figured I would just fake it with foundation and makeup anyway. And then for obviously my face makeup, I used that same shade, which is N4 in the Be Perfect Chroma Cover foundation, and just applied that all over my face to act as my base makeup. Again, this is like a newer find to me, but I've been very much enjoying it. It is nice and full coverage. It does oxidize a little bit and like look a little bit darker than what it does like when you first apply it, but I find that once I've done like my highlight and contour and everything just blends nicely together, and yeah, it lasts a decent amount of time. It looks nice on the skin. It's easy to blend out. So I pretty much just blended that all over my face, but kind of avoided the under eye region. Since for highlight, I took the shade N1 in that same Be Perfect Chroma Cover foundation and applied that under my eyes to act as like my highlight to brighten up those areas. I apply a little bit of that under my cheeks just so it kind of fakes the illusion of having better like bone structure, and when I go in with contour it kind of reinforces those areas, but pretty much blend the highlight under my eyes. I also applied some to the center of my forehead to brighten that, a little bit to my chin and a little bit around my mouth just so it kind of brightens it, evens out the complexion, and my face looks nice and like highlighted and has a little bit more dimension to it. So for contour, I went in with another shade of that Be Perfect Chroma Cover foundation. This is the shade C9, and you only need a very small amount of this. This is very full coverage, and you know, it's quite a jump up from N4 to C9. That's like 5 shades darker in their range. So I go a little lighter handed with this onto the contour regions of my face just to give me some bone structure. I also use this same foundation to contour on my cleavage. I do have a full video all about like breast contour, how I do it, the products I would recommend, tips and tricks, hacks, everything, which I will try and find and link down below. But pretty much just draw 2 like semicircular lines on your chest. I did go in with a slightly smaller brush and a little bit more of that product to kind of further define it and give me a little bit more dimension to the literal brown lines drawn on my chest to resemble cleavage. I then blended some of that product along the hairline just to make my forehead look a little bit smaller, to the kind of backs of my cheeks. I used to bring my contour really like far in, like close to the edge of my mouth, but I find it's a lot more flattering just to try and keep it a little bit higher and a little bit further back on the face. And I also use that same C9 shade to contour up my nose. Once I was happy with kind of how all of my cream base products were sitting, I went in with the Coty Loose Airspun Powder in Translucent Extra Coverage and basically just slapped that all over my face. This is a drag makeup look and I want the makeup to stay on nicely. I want it to last a decent amount of time, and my skin can get really oily when I'm in drag, so I go quite heavy with the powder and literally just slap that all over my body as well, just to make sure everything was nice and in place. It didn't transfer too much onto my clothing or anything like that. And then once it kind of set on my skin for a couple of minutes, I took a little bit of a powder foundation on a fluffy brush and just brushed off any of the extra powder just so it didn't disrupt anything and just kind of kept everything where I want it to be. I then went in with an e.l.f. brow pencil and just lightly filled in the brow sticker just so it was a little bit darker and it didn't have any like powder residue in it. Usually when I do drag, my brows are a lot like more arch and higher up, so yeah, it was kind of fun and different to have a lower, like bushier looking brow. Blended out the edge of the eyeshadow and then popped that deeper shade of pink just closest to my lash line. I didn't want to do too much on the lower lash today since I wanted the bright under eye. I want to keep my eyes quite like open, so I just brushed off any of the extra powder that was sat on my under eyes, went in and contoured using my BH Cosmetics Pro Contour Kit, and also applied a little bit of the bronzing shades in that palette to kind of the backs and like higher portion of my cheeks, just so my skin had a little bit more warmth and it reinforced those contours that I did with that cream contour from Be Perfect. And yeah, I really enjoyed this palette. I did take a little bit of that deeper shade just to the very back of my cheek just to give me some more bone structure, and then it just went around my nose just to slightly contour it and add a little bit of colour there. For blush, I took this really pretty blush from Game Beauty, and it's like a really pretty, like almost like a pastel but also like a neon pink under certain lights blush, and I applied this more to the front portion of the top of my cheeks as well as a little bit to my nose, and then to the very back of the cheek for a little bit more like contrast and colour. I took the Made by Mitchell Blush Book Volume 1 and I think the shades Think Pink, and applied that to the backs of my cheeks. To brighten up my waterline, I took a white cream paint from the like Makeup Forever Flash palette dupe and applied that into my waterline. For lips, I went in with this absolutely stunning but very bright neon lipstick from LA Girl, and then to fill in my lips, I went in with the Shoujo lipstick from Bone Idol Beauty. I've really been loving the products that I've tried from them. I purchased them all with my own money and that lipstick was stunning. Applied a little bit of the lip drip from P. Louise Beauty, which is basically like a glittery lip gloss, and then pop on some lashes, pop on my wig, pop on my outfit, and we are ready to become a Barbie doll. Really hope you guys enjoyed this look. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. Comment down below any other looks you want to see from me. And don't forget to subscribe to the girl next door with something more. And I will see you in my next makeup transmission, which hopefully should be up tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye. I just wanna be happy tonight.